I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, okay? And I don't know if this was my own ignorance or what, but until like the past 5 years, I did not realize how many black men hate black women. And of course, this is a sum, not all, and I'm not even gonna say the majority, but it is a pretty significant number. And of course, as a mental health care provider, I know a lot of this stems from trauma, possibly with their mother or another female in the past, or maybe they had an emotionally incestuous relationship with their mother, and that's
Hold up. Let me stop here. Oh, Lord. Let me back that up. Did y'all see that part where she pointed out that she is a mental health care provider? Stop with that. Stop with that. I hear that so much. As a psychology major, I remember Cynthia G used to go on about that. As a mental health expert, here she was the most mentally ill person on the planet, Cynthia G. Sitting up here talking about how she a psychologist and a head doctor and about to, help somebody else. I'll stop with that. Now I'll come back to that. Boy, they be saying the most.
I'm going to say the majority, but it is a pretty significant number. And of course, as a mental health care provider, I know a lot of this stems from trauma, possibly with their mother or another female in the past, or maybe they had an emotion.
No, wait a minute. Possibly with their mother or some female in the past, or possibly multiple black women that they've dealt with in their life. Maybe there truly is a pattern. Maybe they saw that pattern with their mothers and with other women in their life. And if so, that's a fair criticism. There may be some validity to it. I'm sorry, I don't like the way people do that. They point out your past experiences as if your experiences are irrelevant. No, that's what you learn hands-on. Let's go.
Incestuous relationship with their mother, and that's why they have these perspectives. But whatever the case may be,
and generally, black men are not that dumb. They're not going to hate all black women just because their mother was acting ill towards them. If they, aside from their mother, if they had positive experiences with black women, generally they are smart. Everybody, regardless of race, is smart enough to not hate all black women and to differentiate the crazy ones from the sane ones. Okay, we're not dumb, so stop with that too. I get sick of this too, how we as black men get projected as if mentally we're still on the plantation. No, y'all gonna have to check that. Because right now, black men do a lot of things that we used to do, that we stopped doing.
It is disturbing. It is a black woman's fault that she is a single mom, even though it is the man who left.
Now, this is according to her, a mental health care expert who is now trying to delve into sociology. She dealing with demographics now. She talking numbers now. She talking as if she has a camera installed in everybody's home. Y'all remember I talked about this on one of my old videos from the SBW channel. There's a whole number of reasons why couples, not just black couples, why couples break up. For years, they have been pushing this. Okay, this is irrefutable. I'm not black woman bashing because this is an irrefutable fact. You can verify it. For years, they have been pushing this idea that all single black mothers are single because their men left them. And I've been arguing for years, that's not even humanly possible. And you can't say that about any group of people on this planet. Again, that is not even humanly possible. The truth is, couples break up for several different types of reasons, and quite often it's the woman with the kids who leaves the man. And it just so happens we got documented evidence of that. Majority of divorces are filed by women, not men. So you don't even have documentation on your side to substantiate that. There's nothing, not even logic, to substantiate that. When you add in the fact that black women during that time and during this time got certain benefits from the government to be a single mother, that's even more motivation for them to leave the relationship. When you add on to the fact that quite often, usually, women end up having custody of the kids and extracting resources, funds from the baby's father. So that's even more motivation. That's why so many of them, when they're single, they're bragging about it and how independent they are. And quite often they will call in, they used to call in Kevin Samuels, and they would admit that they left their baby father. But every time they want to have a discussion about single mothers, they want to push this lie. And I pointed out for years, this is a stereotype. It's a white supremacist type of lie, where you think up and make up the most degenerative things that's not even possible and apply those traits to a certain group of people. Stop that. This is what black men have been going crazy and fighting against. That plantation mindset, that internalized racism got to go. We should be far beyond that. We should not be in 2023 hurling stereotypes at each other. Stop it. Let's continue.
B, it is disturbing. It is a black woman's fault that she is a single mom, even though it is the man who left.
You know what? And seeing that she's a so-called healthcare professional, I'm going to hold that right there. Because I don't respect these little degrees and whatnot. If you're a head doctor, you're a psychologist, then you don't need to go to school for it. Some of the most well-respected psychologists never went to school to be a psychologist. You either got it or you don't. And this is, you know, it's like being in court. Once you lie on the stand, your entire testimony is stricken from the record. She just sat up here and lied. You lose credibility like that, and you're just not a person who should be out here talking like you're some type of teacher. Now I want to deal in this video with this nonsense that black men hate black women. You heard her just say that. And I'm not saying this, I'm not making this video as my attempt to warm anybody's hearts. I'm not about to start simping. My goal is just to tell the truth as I see it. And I'm really being impartial. Black men, they don't hate black women. That's ridiculous. You know what the truth is? Black men are hurt. It's painful to see black women in this state. To see black women carrying certain traits, attitudes, and practices. Okay? Black men have been fighting against it for decades. Let's say it started during the 60s, and it did. How long ago was that? How long ago was that? Some black men been fighting against this for some 50, 60 years. Okay? We were not given rehabilitation or counseling. And in the 60s, under black men's guidance, we decided to put ourselves through rehab. Why? Because we collectively were mentally ill. Black Americans, both black men and black women, after slavery, we started to display open signs of mental illness. And we all knew it. The whole time we were doing it, we knew it. Black men trying to look like Elvis Presley. Black men trying to look like the white male news anchor. Oh, we was doing it up. And us leaving that behind, leaving that in the past, that's not a display of hatred for white men or any other men, because they all got the same grade of hair and have the same basic hairstyles. It's not a swipe against them. This is a case of mental illness. If 80% of white women literally covered their hair with Afro hair come from our head, I would say those white women are mentally ill. Me saying that is not hate or black woman bashing. Again, this is me observing it how it is. Black men are speaking against a legitimate mental illness seen in a practice in how you groom yourself. That is a perfectly legitimate thing to have a gripe about, to have a complaint about. Stop acting like we don't have anything, like we're making stuff up, pulling stuff out of thin air. And why are black men pleading to you this way? It's because, not because they hate you. If they truly hated you, they would say nothing about you. Trust me. If they truly hated you, they would not spend any time online talking about you. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Now, many of them, including Cynthia G, that love for their counterpart turned into bitterness, turned into hatred. But it started as a passionate and intense, a normal level of love. Put it like that. And when black women display a normal level of self-confidence, they will change the world economy. Let me say that again. If black women show a normal, collectively, just as other groups of women do, if the majority of black women collectively show a level of self-confidence, the same level of self-confidence that you see in other races of women, black women alone would change the world economy. That is proof that there's something wrong here. If black women as a whole embraced their natural black DNA the same way other races of women embrace their natural DNA, black women and black women alone will change the world economy. They spend billions upon billions on weave. Weave is literally other women's hair. So you would put those women you getting the hair from out of business. They could no longer sell their hair. A lot of them cut it off. Other ones, they'll take it off a corpse. The weave stores over here would shut down. And that would shut down a whole bunch of other stuff. All because black women no longer is trying to look like other women. Can we have church this morning? All because black women are doing the exact same thing that other women are doing. They would change the world economy just by doing the same thing everybody else is doing. That proves there's a problem here. And the fact is, black men, just like all the other men in the world, are the leaders. And if black women don't respect us as leaders, then we will perish. It's only a matter of time before black Americans are extinct. And the world will appreciate our extinction more than they'll appreciate anybody else's extinction, because there's more to take from us. Other people then can adopt everything we've ever created, all our music genre, and that's what they're trying to do now while we're still here. So after we're gone, you know they're going to go buck wild. Hate, stop it. Black men, let me tell y'all something. Since y'all want to say stuff like this, like what this woman said, then now I got to rub how wrong you are in your face. Just like I did before. Black men openly show more love for black women than any other group of men on the earth show love, open love to their women. I feel like I need to take a page out of Umar Johnson's book and repeat myself. I understand why he does that. A lot of people miss stuff when you just say it once. Black men, and it's by far, show more affection for black women than any other group of men show for their women. Don't no other group of men call their women queens. No other race of men, group or race or ethnicity. No other group of men have made it basically a culture. It's so bad, even white people make fun of us. They be coming around saying kangs and queens. We was kangs and queens. It's become who did it start with? Who started calling black women queens and goddesses, huh? Ain't no other group of men adorned their women and made their presence, their existence synonymous with the word queen. Is that something that a group of men who hate their women do? Let's just be real here. Okay, I'm not trying to, this ain't Sunday morning now. I don't want no amens now, but this is just fact. Show me that other group of people who associated your very existence with things that's positive. What have y'all associated us with? Nigga. And many of us have said, stop it. Stop referring to us as niggas. Show us respect and show yourselves more respect. If you can't respect your men as men and fall under their leadership, that's backwards and you will perish. Fact. We just pointing out that you can't be backwards in this universe. And if you insist on it, we will perish. Now, maybe you don't care. And if you don't care whether or not we perish, then this video is not even for you. What are you listening for? The black men out there, even some of the harshest critics. I mentioned Accountable Commentary. I think he's seriously blackballed on YouTube, but he don't get enough ears. His views are terribly low. He refuses to even let black women leave comments in his in the comment section to his videos. He said no black women, and he preaches black men stay away from black women. Don't date any of them, even if they're from Africa. No black women nowhere. He said just don't date them at all. Don't reproduce with them. Don't put your seed in them. Now, there's a group of black men who co-sign with that. But like I just said, his audience is very small. But I don't even believe he hates black women. I don't even believe he hates black women. If he truly did, he would not waste time on them. He would spend his time talking about how beautiful, attractive these other women are. He'd spend his time talking and glorifying these other women if he really got down like that. But in several videos, he said they can't leave comments on his channel either. No, these black men, if you ask me, it's painful. Of course, we're men. We don't like saying, I don't like saying, I'm uncomfortable saying that. But these men, including myself, I'm guilty too, have shown signs, our behavior has shown that we have been affected by what we've been seeing and affected by how we ourselves experienced. Black men like Accountable Commentary. They have a lot of respect for other black men. And all I'm saying is, you don't have to agree with me. All I'm saying is, you can't respect black men that much if you promote the idea of exterminating them. If you respect the black American lineage, you cannot at the same time preach its extermination. And if you appreciate black men so much, why don't you appreciate black men enough to encourage people to keep black men in existence? You see, you just can't do that. Why would you appreciate black men enough while you're alive, but not appreciate them enough to promote their continued existence in the future? See, that just doesn't work. What if our black male ancestors did that 150 years ago? We might not be here today. Now, y'all could preach whatever you want. I can't preach that. I'm not going to preach that. Okay? I appreciate like all normal people do. And which is crazy. Okay? Crazy. We're just basically trying to get to a normal level of sanity here. So you can't do that. And I'm not going to do that. I can't sit here and say, hey, black people just stop dating each other. That is a completely negative thing to push and promote. And that, again, would be 100% co-signed by people like Margaret Sanger and many other most demonic white supremacists that ever lived in existence. No, that's insane. So please, fellas, try to do something about that. But let me tell you something. Once your slaves internalize inferiority, then you don't need to oversee them anymore. Now, y'all saw that thumbnail. This black woman had a unique experience with this hair weave. She somehow, the pores, she went bald, okay? But listen to this.
All the hair that was stuffed into that one pore.
Oh.
That one pore, and that typically happens when the braids of your head is way too tight and your pores collide into one huge pore, and multiple hair starts to grow out of one big pore, but they get stuck because, as you know, your hair has one pore for each hair follicle. So I had one huge pore. There was a bunch of hair follicles trying to grow out of that one pore, and that's why the middle of my head was a whole lot shorter than the rest of my head, because the hair was didn't have room to grow. So I'm actually going to insert a clip in so you can see all the hair that was stuffed into that one pore. It's very graphic, so if you don't like things like that, then you might just want to skip over it.
All right, so we're going to go into the deep hole right now. All right, in the deep hole, you will see how her head is cut in 4 ways. Left side, this is her right side. And when you go inside the deep hole, you see how the hairs are just stuck?
Now, do you also see how this is not just a mental health issue? This is a health issue. Okay? I mean, it's as serious as it gets. We can't be a normal group of people and raise kids seeing their mothers do this. You can't. Okay?
They won't even come out. Look at that. Hold on. You see that, yo? I couldn't even shave that out.
That is a scalp that has been abused for years. Glue, tight, and that braiding, that come from not rocking braids. That come from when they braid their hair to put the weave up over it. This is what she looked like when she had hair. Look at it. What is that, the yaki? They got all kind of names for these weaves. They even started naming them. The ones that come from the Germans is this. The Cambodians is called that. Done nicknamed the hair, depending on the different races of women it came from. This is why there's so many people who are able to roast black women. These people, and they're doing it in the most mean-spirited way possible. Y'all ain't got no hair. Y'all bald. Take off that wig and all this kind of stuff. They couldn't say stuff like that if black women groomed themselves the exact same way black men do. There ain't nothing wrong with your braided hair. And then you know what they're afraid of? Let me tell you what they're afraid of. You see, like I said, women take beauty, all women, they got a different relationship with appearance than us men. We like to be fly. We like to be clean and well cut. Don't get me wrong. But women have a different relationship with beauty than we do. What is beauty? What is beauty? Beauty is a combination of things that work together. The size of your nose. It's controlled. Your beauty is controlled by the size of your nose relative to the size of your lips, relative to your size of your eyes, the shape of your eye, the shape of your eyebrows. That's why they always cut them off and shaping them and drawing on them. Because your appearance is largely dictated by the shapes of your eyebrow. The shapes of everything have to work together. Everything has to work together. But also, one of the things that works for your beauty, another important element of beauty, is your skin tone. See, a white woman has a different type of beauty than a black woman who has the exact same features. She even looks like a totally different woman, even if you have the same nose, same eyes, and everything. Let me show y'all something. I believe a lot of y'all have seen this. I guess there's also a website where you can actually do that. And somebody actually did it with Rose Namajunas, but I can't find it. Okay, so I can't find it right now. But yeah, your skin tone contributes to your looks. Any and everybody will tell you that. It's a huge contributor to your beauty itself. People kill me saying, oh, we all the same, only difference is skin color, skin tone is a huge difference. Because I told you, like I talked about before, color is vibration. Color is vibration. Okay, so colored skin gives off a different energy. It gives off a unique type of energy. Okay, and you also, in skin, like colored skin, black skin, or melanated skin, there's also present in it a bunch of different colors. It's not just black or brown. It's not even just brown. It's just like with all people have multiple colors. Just like people say white people change colors a lot. We got a bunch of colors in us too. And if you look close, our skin turns pale in the area where you touch it. But the darker you are, you really can't see it when you get so dark. But there's a multitude of colors. So your eyeballs having a whole different experience when you looking at a black person compared to a white person or somebody with fair skin. The more different, the greater the contrast between the skin tones, the more different they're going to come off. A whole different energy. I talked to a few years ago. I was talking to these white guys. It was these guys I went to school with who had went to war, and they stayed living over there in Vietnam. And they was talking about how they're never coming home, never coming back to the United States. and they was, and this is no disrespect. This is what they said. I didn't say this. It was like the white women back home don't compare to these Asian girls. He got what they call it, the Asian persuasion or something. He got hit by the Asian love bug, and he was like, man, their skin is just so beautiful. He just kept saying, it's just so gorgeous, man. Their skin is just so beautiful. And it's because it's a different experience. That's just how it is. Okay? Skin tone, a huge player in your beauty. Now, you tell me, what if we made a culture out of doing? Lightening our skin? Even to the point of chasing marriage, or not even marriage, trying to have kids with white people, strictly for the sake of having biracial babies. Who made that popular? Who made that a thing? I've never heard of a black man seeking out a white woman for the purpose of, black men never got into good hair, talking about good hair and all this type of stuff. And this is no swipe to biracial people. I got biracial people in my family. I'm talking about a mental illness. This is not an attack at anyone. No matter who you are, you're not supposed to have that type of rejection of yourself, your own genetics, your own DNA. That's a mental health issue. So skin tone is a huge player in and that's not this has always been black women. Like I've said, they have displayed a greater manifestation of self-hatred, lack of self-confidence. We all touched by it, even today, black men, because we can't deny it. If we're raised by a mother who has some type of mental illness, we're not going to be untouched by it. No. What else contributes or plays a huge role in your beauty? Your hair, your crown, and that's a huge player. So why did she opt for this look? Why do so many of them opt for this look? And it costs billions of dollars. It's fake. It's not even real. It's not something you can even be proud of owning. Most of these women are not comfortable taking these wigs and weaves off on the first date or even the second one. Some of them don't ever want you to see them in their natural state. And you find people roasting black women over this. I wouldn't even feel comfortable making myself vulnerable like that. Vulnerable in a way that other women are not. It's to the point where these other women are coming out with fire, all kind of smoke. Like, y'all ain't got nothing to say to us when y'all literally put our hair on your head trying to look like us. We've heard white and Asian women come out roasting, and there's nothing you can say. And when we hear and see that, and we see how black women ain't got nothing in to say in response to that, man, that has to stop. That has to stop. Can't nobody do that with black men. And here's the thing. You look like a different person depending on your hair, your hairstyle, your hair texture. It can make you look like a totally different, it does make you look like a totally different person. Her hair in this state right here, if she were to have a natural hairstyle, she would look like a whole different, it's a different type of beauty. And it's not associated with or common with other races of women. The natural hairstyle, natural aesthetics that black women have is different, and it's the only different. All other races have the same aesthetics. They have the same genetics, hair genetics. And black women view that as normal. and their own as abnormal for a woman. I've said this several times. In their mind, our hair is masculine. Afro hair is masculine. It's boyish. They say it makes you look like a boy. You don't look beautiful. You don't look feminine. No, you don't look white feminine. You don't look Asian feminine. Because you ain't no white woman and you ain't no Asian woman. You are black feminine. Start a movement called black feminine. If you got your own unique beauty, rock it. Like, it's really that simple. Y'all remember this horrible, 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 horrible. Where's that video? This woman was shot. The stylist, the beautician herself was shot. Underneath that, and man, this is pretty common. When y'all lose y'all's wig, and it happens a lot when they fight, happens all the time. When y'all lose y'all's wig, how do you think black men feel if we're walking with you holding your hand? That's just shameful. Nothing's more embarrassing than that. And even if you don't lose your wig, the fact you got it on, no, that's not genuine confidence. That's not genuine. What's genuine is what you've been seeing with black men. See, we made the world get used to seeing us in our natural state. But see, a lot of black women look at our hair type as appropriate or suitable for black men because, again, they view it as masculine. So that tells you that they're incapable of seeing black as beautiful. They don't view black as ugly. Just not the most beautiful. In their mind, in order to be as beautiful as you can possibly be, you have to scrap or completely conceal or cover your natural DNA. Your natural DNA. Now, how much worse does it get when you literally have their hair on your head and you throw blue contacts in your eyes and you make that hair blonde? Are we denying what they're trying to look like, what they're trying to emulate? And again, imagine if black men were doing this. You're supposed to have different hair because you got different everything else. And when you have a culture like what they have with this goofy, crazy weaves, that is an admission that other women are more beautiful than you. Collectively having this weave culture, that's a confession. Y'all telling the world we're not as beautiful as these other women. And if we're going to compete with them, we have to look as much like them as possible. So forget straightening your own natural hair. It don't flow as well. Y'all remember Oprah pointed that out. Your natural hair, when you straighten it, it don't flow and swing. It don't blow through the air. It's stiff. It's like cardboard or something. They got tired of that. They're like, oh no, F this. They say, I want my hair to swing. And that's why when they had that weave, they be playing in it. Just like they've been seeing white women do. Which has never been a thing with black women. Playing in your hair like that. And when they start doing that, when they start playing with their hair and flipping it around like that, that's when you know That is a spirit is inside of them. A non-black spirit. Spirit is nothing but energy. That's when it's a full-blown confession. There's no more, and this ain't bashing. This is something only men who love you would tell you. Because other people will encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Because you're praising them by doing what you're doing. So stop with this hate nonsense. Stop it. And like I said, I would prefer that only black women could hear me. I don't like getting up in front of other people talking about stuff like this. No, I don't think any of us like that. But we can't even make our own spaces like that. However, it's not a bad thing either, because other groups got their own issues. They have different problems, and it will make them look good if they got online and talked about it in the interest of resolving those issues. No matter what you think about the problems, relationship, community problems, or otherwise, you would have to commend them for trying to get things right. And that's what black men have been trying to do. They have been trying to get you right. Just trying to get you on the same level as all other women. And to accept the fact that you look different from these women. You have a whole different type of beauty, just like black men. We don't look like white boys. And we rock it with pride. And that's what these other women dig. We flaunt our differences. We rub our differences in your face. Even if you're not attracted to us, you got to respect that. Right now, people don't respect black women for that shit. That's why you hear these stories about them going overseas and then people disrespecting black women just after finding out that they're a black American. There was so much as spit in your face. We have gone over numerous stories, confessions by black women themselves, how they get disrespected going overseas. Nobody respects that. And again, I can prove it that everything we're saying is right. Because again, if black women do the exact same things, if they groom themselves, when you groom yourself, it's meant to accentuate your genetics. The purpose is to amplify your DNA. It's to bolster it. That's the whole point of grooming yourself. They delete it and replace it with DNA from other women. That is an overt, open display of mental illness. And black men have been doing what only men should do. Point it out. They don't like seeing you in that state. We don't like seeing you in that state. And some men have look, it's a lost cause. Forget it. Some 70, 80% of them do it. And what they don't understand is that when you do that practice of weaving and all this straightening and looking like other women, when you do that, you also acquire foreign attitudes. You internalize racist viewpoints. And you really start to look at, because how can you not? You're treating yourself like an inferior. When you treat yourself as if you're inferior, you're going to believe it. And you're going to look at black men as what? You ain't shit, nigga. You can't do that and be a sane person in this world. When you have confidence problems, when you have issues with self-esteem, they talked about this starting as way back as the Kenneth Clark doll test. They was talking about how a lack of self-esteem, confidence, that affects your life in pretty much every other way you can think of. Change your view of yourself, of other people. There's certain decisions you won't make. There's certain things you won't even try to do. You won't try to grow or evolve. That's something that really can keep you stagnant because you feel like you're not the type of person, you're not good enough to do this, to do that. So you feel like, oh, I'm only meant to bag groceries. You start living out your inferiority. You don't feel worthy of certain things. And you'll strive like hell to not reproduce yourself. It's a genocidal mentality. And it's an irrefutable mental illness. You know what the problem is? And it's a harsh reality. You know what the problem is? Black women, collectively, now, some of them claim they do, but, I like to think that some of them do. They don't respect black men as leaders. See, these are hard times we're living in. These are times where black women are expected, if we're going to survive, to fall under black men's leadership despite not having our own nation, despite black men not running the nation, not being in control of the nation. Black men are not the police officers, not the lawmakers. We're not the law enforcers. Black women are being asked to fall under our leadership when we are not captains of the ship. So that's a huge thing to ask. That's a huge task. Let's be honest. What black men are asking from black women, that might be difficult. That's difficult. It's more difficult than other women. It's easy for other women to fall under the leadership of their men when their men literally the one condition their minds. Their men decide what's shown on TV, and that TV is what control your population. All in this TV world, the TV grooms people. It conditions people. Yeah, their men have established their own culture, and they've made their culture and women beautiful. They projected their women, have beautified their women and put them on a pedestal. We haven't done that. Black women don't get to grow up in the same type of world these other women grow up in. These other women grow up looking at themselves as the queens, as the most beautiful. And it's all about projection, how you're projected, how you're shown, how you grow up seeing yourselves. Black women grow up seeing other women as the most beautiful women in the world. Now, if they grew up seeing black women in their natural state all their life, they would view that their natural hair as the most desirable. They would have genuine confidence and self-confidence if that were the case. At least that's what I believe. I don't believe that black women have a genetic defect, because that is what you're suggesting if you can't admit to that. The desire on black women's part to emulate other women comes from the fact that women take beauty more seriously. They take it more seriously. And once black women believe that their beauty aesthetics is superior to their own, you're not going to be able to keep them from trying to look like those other women. It demands that you have low self-confidence, and that it demands that you view those other women as superior to yourself. Now, if that's the case, how can you wag the finger at black men if they date those other women? They get up in the morning, there's no wig left in their bed. They're not looking at a whole different person once that wig fly off somehow, get caught in the door or something. They don't have to deal with all that other stuff that comes from this weaving and wigging. Snatching the hair out. These girls grow up with no hair. These girls grow up, and it starts when they're little girls. When they're little girls, they start that process of destroying their scalps. That's when that process of it, and by the time the black women grow up to understand how dangerous and how crazy it is to do yourself, it's too late. Their scalps has already been ruined, and now they're forced to rock a baldy like this woman. Now she can't even rock a natural hairstyle, and you could tell she looked fly even with a short hairstyle, like a short buzz. Black men, we take care. You know what else? I'll tell y'all something right now. I uploaded some photos of myself. I got out the shower. I washed my hair while I was in the shower, rinsed it out, and I patted dry. I didn't rub the towel across my head at all. I would pat it with my bare hand, to get some of the water out, sort of have my head upside down so it'll fall out. And then I would sort of tap it with the towel. My goal was to let it curl up by itself. I did that and I uploaded a photo. I swear every black woman who saw that told me I had an S curl in my head. They did not believe. It got to the point. It got so bad. I was about to film myself do the whole thing. Film myself, wash my hair, no editing, and let it air dry and curl up naturally. They just did not believe that our natural hair was like, you just got to take care of it. I don't want to hear this nonsense about how it'd take longer. Black men, we not up in the mirror all that time. We don't spend on, and we got the same hair. You can't tell us that natural hair take longer when we got natural hair, both short and long. You can't use that excuse no more. We don't know how to tend to it and all this. And this nonsense about they won't let you in a job, deny you job, you can't move up. I don't believe that nonsense either. I don't believe it, don't believe it. And like I said, black men, we went natural. We did not care what they was talking about, oh, it don't work in the corporate world. Then get out of here. Didn't they pass the Crown Act and other? If you can't fight that in 2023, why wouldn't you fight to be yourself? You got all the power in the world and all the backing in the world to fight to be yourself. Don't give me this excuse they don't accept it in the corporate world. The only reason why y'all not treating yourselves like normal human beings. That's all black men asking you to do. Stop degrading yourself, treating yourself like you got some type of genetic defect. Stop that shit. Ain't nothing wrong with pointing that out. Shout out to everybody able to join me, and stop with all that hate nonsense. Check y'all on the next.